Hey guys, my name is Roger Janik. I'm the host of A Spacesuit for the Soul blog. Welcome back to another installment. Today I wanted to follow up on my last blog, which was about success. And that blog specifically was about what is success really, and what does it mean to you, and are you really truly successful? There's something I'm calling in this blog series the soul conflict, right? And so the conflict you have within your soul, you may not even realize this, is that you are along this path, right, of what you consider a successful path, a successful journey. And maybe you haven't got there yet, or maybe you have. And you think that you are along the right path, but deep down inside, you know that something is missing. You know that you may not be on your true path, your true purpose in life, or your true calling. And so the question is this true success if it's something that's a conflict within yourself and within your soul? And so to kind of take that a step further, I think the problem is that people will identify with this false status. So they'll take their selves and their lives and they'll think about that, and they define themselves as this role. So as this person at this job, right? And there's that true identity that's wrapped up in that status. Or maybe it's just material gain. You know, you've got the fancy car, you've got the fancy house, you got the swimming pool, you got all these things, right? And maybe that makes you also feel successful, but also kind of wrapped and identified within all of those things. What I'd like to do next is what I'm calling the soul challenge. And so this is where I want you to challenge your mind and challenge your brain and think of things in a different way, so that maybe you can start to disconnect from identifying with just status and material gain, which could be false, right? Which could be a false sense of success, right? So what I want you to do right now is, and you can close your eyes for this. I think that would be great. But if you're not comfortable with that, that's fine too. But I want you to imagine right now that you have lost your job. Okay? So I want you to imagine that you've lost your job and there's no way possible to get that job back or even work in that industry again. Okay, so think about that. Who are you? Who are you? Okay, so this is about trying to figure out what your true identity is if you don't have status. Who are you? Taking it a step further, if you were to lose all of your material items, okay, you lost your house, you lost your car, you lost your couch, your TV, you had no material items, and you had no way to get them back. Okay, you lost your job, you've lost all material possessions. Now think, who are you? Who are you without all this stuff and without this status? Who are you? Now, let's go even one step further. Imagine you have no roles in life. You're not a parent. You're not a brother. You're not a sister. You're not an aunt. You're not an uncle. You're not a nephew. Not a niece. Not a cousin. You're not a teacher. You have no roles. You have no roles whatsoever in life. Who are you? No job. No material possessions. No roles. Who are you? Think about that. That's the challenge. What's your true identity without all of that stuff? Okay? So that's the challenge. That's what I want you to think about, right? And I know that's tough. It's tough. It's hard to think about that. But getting into what I call the soul lesson, my thoughts on this is that you're not your job, you're not your things, you're not your roles. What you are is divinity and eternity and love and joy, okay? Where you came from the formless world, from the world that we can't see, that we can't touch, we can't feel, but we know it's there, right? We know it's there. That's what we really are. So how do you get back to that? How do you get back to who we truly are and where we truly came from? And that's the tough part. So in a part of this blog, I'm going to start calling Feed the Soul. Some of the practices that you could try is to try to think back when you were a child, okay? Because that's one way to try to get back to not having anything. Like all things I said, without having responsibilities and roles and material items and possessions, right? So if you think back when you were a child, really try to sit and reflect and think on that. Because that's probably the closest and easiest way to try to come back to your true nature and your true identity and who you truly are. A good way to do that is to quiet your mind, be very still, and reflect deeply. You can do that through meditation, but if not, just go outside and look at nature, right? Go somewhere where it's calm and peaceful and look at nature and just reflect and think. And just think about being back when you're a little kid. Or just try to strip yourself away from all the material items and the status and all things you have and think about who you really are. And I think that if you do that and you reflect on that, you'll start getting little clues and little signs and little signals of who you really are and what path that you should really be going on, and what your true calling in life is. Maybe some of you that are watching this are already living that and you feel completely fulfilled inside and out, and that's fantastic. But I would guess to say that 95, not 99% of the world doesn't feel that way, to where their day in, day out, they feel truly fulfilled on both the inside and the outside. Because most people live the day to day just trying to get through, right? And if they do get through, and if they get a big paycheck or a big bonus or whatever, they feel like they might be fulfilled from the outside. But typically there's something missing from within, because most people are not following their true path, their true destiny, their true calling. And the only way that you're ever going to be able to do that is to stop identifying with all of the things you have and the status you have, because that's just a false sense of reality. You have to try to get back to your true nature and your true being and your true self. And once you do that and you get in touch with that, then things can change for you. The world can change for you if you're bold enough to make those steps and to change your life. So that's all I have for today. I hope you got something out of it. Once again, this is only my third blog, so I'm a little rough around the edges. I don't like to do a lot of editing and cuts and things like that. I like to just keep it rolling, and keep it raw and keep it real and keep it authentic. So hopefully you're getting something out of this, and I hope to improve as I go along as well. So I hope you'll come back for more. Bye for now.